Sarah Snell Cook. I'm your host here at the Credit Union Connection, and I'm here today with Erikka Arone. Welcome.
Hello.
Great to have you here. Erikka is the head of product marketing at a company called SFox. I'm going to let her go a little more detail on herself and as well as introducing the company. Take it away.
Well, it's great to be here. My name is Erikka Arone, and I manage product marketing and corporate development for SFox. What is SFox? SFox is a company that helps institutional investors buy, sell, trade, hold crypto in custody, as well as borrow. So it's a full service company that offers also interesting software called SFox Connect. And that's a full stack platform that enables institutions such as credit unions safely offer crypto and stablecoin services to their end users. And it enables them to do so without having to build the infrastructure as well as acquire the licenses and build the compliance teams themselves. So SFox really is a platform that enables folks to access crypto as well as safely comply with the many regulations and manage the risk of crypto as well.
Yeah, no, all sounds great. And I know there are, I don't know, I could estimate maybe a dozen credit unions into crypto so far, maybe more, but definitely heading that direction for sure. Very interested because, of course, their members are interested, and they're there to serve their members. And I know there is some confusion because it is relatively new product. Um, could you provide a quick primer on like the differences between like the distributed ledger, the crypto itself, the cryptocurrency?
Mhm.
Can you distinguish between those and
Yeah,
whatever else I'm missing too?
yeah, absolutely. So, I'm so excited to share this information with folks because I think a lot of people have either a basic understanding or basic fear,
Mm,
truly, of crypto in that uh, it's a new asset class of money that has not had a great deal of clarity, regulation, oversight, and to be frank, risk management.
mm,
But crypto is built on a distributed ledger technology called the blockchain. And the blockchain is a digital record book that enables information to be stored across a distributed network of computers. It is quote unquote immutable. So, in a sense, it is a trusted open platform, but there's a lot of digital assets as well as other applications and technology that are built on top of the blockchain. So think of it as beyond Web 3.0
mm-hmm,
to some extent. So if you think about it in that regard, there's an entire area called cryptocurrency, which, as I mentioned, is a digital asset or a different store of wealth. So if you
mm-hmm,
think about money, you can just think of it as another type of money.
mm-hmm,
So in addition to fiat, which is what we're all familiar with, dollars, currencies, traditional currencies that are backed by governments or they're backed by um, treasuries or other commodities. Crypto is backed by a number of different types of technologies. You might have heard of a term called stable coins.
mm-hmm,
Stable coins, there's an entire array of stable coins. Most people are familiar with those stable coins that are pegged to the US dollar. And so there's a great deal of interest in
mm-hmm,
money being moved towards stable coins and not necessarily primarily based on traditional currencies such as the US dollar.
mm-hmm. And I mean, we had just had the Genius Act that passed, so definitely going to be increasing interest there as well in the stablecoin. So thank you for that. But so your company says that cryptos need the credit unions and those other lenders, um, or financial institutions, excuse me, that have built a lot of trust up because crypto is new and it does take time to build trust. And so do the cryptocurrency companies really care about trust. Part of it was built on a lack of trust originally. Um, so do they care and why?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that by and large, currency companies do care about trust in that um, the across the ecosystem, we've seen companies, both crypto companies and other financial institutions, to be frank, that are traditional financial institutions, take too many risks,
Mm,
um, perhaps do things that are not above the board. And what happens then is the system comes crashing down. And um, some of those companies do rely on a lot of intervention in order to, have them work in that gray area. But there's so much opportunity with regards to new regulations, the growing interest in people diversifying their assets or using cryptocurrency operationally for their treasuries, for their own payments, et cetera, where the opportunity to build a business and an ecosystem that is trustworthy is just one of the biggest opportunities, financial opportunities in the history of mankind, to be frank, not to overstate, not to be accused of overstating the opportunity. And so trust is absolutely essential so that these companies can continue not only to be frank, flourish, make money, but also to protect themselves. Because now the ecosystem is really at this point where, with more regulatory clarity, with more technology, with more overall adoption, and with more innovation of people using cryptocurrency for different uses, trust is absolutely key. To underscore that, by and large, folks who are under the age of 40, um, you know, I think some estimates have ranged north of 25%, have their primary assets, their investments in crypto. And so, rather than hurt the goose that's laying the golden egg, a lot of companies, cryptocurrency companies, have seen what has happened to some companies that don't operate in a manner that is trustworthy, implode, and suffer the consequences. And so rather than be tempted, to be frank, to take on too much risk or to do things that are not trustworthy or untrustworthy, uh, cryptocurrency companies are leaning in terms of building trustworthy systems, complying with reporting and risk management, and working with governments around the world to make sure that the new network of money, shall we say, is not only favorable to them, but is stable and trustworthy.
mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. And so, do you have an estimate how many Ukrainians are involved in crypto and how are
Yeah.
they engaging?
Well, I mean, by involved, I'd say that, definitely hundreds are assessing how to
Mm-hmm.
use crypto. I'd given that quote of around north of, 25% of folks under the age of 40 um, having crypto as a very big part of their asset investments, et cetera, and their long-term plans, honestly, to pass on their wealth. And so while I'd say hundreds are assessing um, crypto in terms of being able to offer it or being able to guide their membership on crypto, I'd say that fewer than fewer than 30 probably currently offer it. There are some really interesting companies that are actually using SVOX technology in the credit union space, and even the
Mm-hmm.
regional banks are getting in on it,
Mm-hmm.
where they're using SVOX Connect, that platform I mentioned earlier, to enable their clients to be able to stay within the credit unions and buy crypto and put it into their accounts with the credit unions rather than these folks withdrawing money and setting up other accounts at Coinbase and et cetera, where, to be frank, a lot of people, while they understand that these companies are trustworthy, um, trust their credit unions much more. So it's an opportunity that I think a lot of credit unions are investigating right now.
Right, right. And their members, I'm sure, are asking for it as well. Um, and certainly credit unions have had a difficult time getting younger members in the door. So one step closer, one thing that they are really actively seeking.
Mhm.
And so what's the first thing a credit union leader should know or do when they're considering, you mentioned hundreds, getting in their institution into crypto?
Well, first of all, I think that uh, credit union leaders should know that crypto isn't about speculation anymore. I mean, it's been advised across, all the blue chip investment advisors that crypto is anywhere from 4 to 10% of your investment assets. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's really about member service at this
Mm-hmm.
point. If you want to um, retain your members, if you want your membership to grow, it's about financial wellness. And
Mm-hmm.
so offering crypto is critical. Some folks might look at the prices of Bitcoin right now and see the volatility of certain crypto like ETH and just say, nope, this is too chaotic or I don't understand it. But the reality is um, a number of their members, not just folks under the age of 40, but several folks are looking to acquire and store and pass on that crypto to their families.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing that I think credit union leaders need to understand is it's an overwhelming multi-year learning curve if you want to build it yourself.
Okay.
And it requires a lot of expertise. Um, both on the technology side as well as accessing again the ability to buy crypto at fair prices, not
Mm-hmm.
just the top cryptocurrency coins, but some of the ones that are also super promising and helpful that their members are going to definitely be interested in. Some of these cryptocurrencies. Such as USDG, are going to enable folks to earn yield, which is really surprising to a lot of folks. Now, people are like, "What? I don't understand. If that's a stable coin, if USDG is a stable coin, then how does it earn yield?" These are things that that credit union leaders don't have to do alone, and they don't have to hire a team of experts. There are services, again, such as SFOX, but there are ways for credit unions to participate and offer these services to their members, and and there's going to be a lot of support from the U.S. government in order to allow them to do this in a safe, regulated way.
Right. Yeah. Again, with the bill that just passed, and President Trump has been supportive of of the cryptocurrency in the past in different statements. And I mean, as you mentioned, it's a couple years to get educated, even if you're probably outsourcing, I'm sure. And so if you're not starting now, I can't imagine what will be happening at your credit union in a few years because I mean, it's an entirely new payment system
Mhm.
where credit unions could be entirely negated, credit unions, banks, whomever, traditional
That's
financial institutions.
excellent point, Sarah. So, I was talking about it just now, primarily as a service to their members, but even
Mhm.
for credit unions to be able to use things like stable coins for their own operations, or
Mm,
to offer their business clients payment rails. So,
mm.
uh, I'd love to go even deeper into stable coins, but just really quickly in a nutshell, stable coins are going to enable folks to be able to move money at a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a penny
Mhm,
instantaneously 7 days a week, 24/7, which
mhm,
is truly a huge service for institutions. So for credit unions to be able to access funds, um, for their business clients, for their members, no longer relying on wires or ACH or the like. It's going to increase the velocity of money. It's going to increase, honestly, reduced risk. Because no longer are you expecting, some sort of ACH probability. that the funds will be translated. It will be a confirmed translation transfer of that stable coin or of those assets. And those stable coins are easily interchangeable with fiat. The on and
Mhm.
off ramps are very easy. And so I think it's frankly genius that the Genius Act was passed first for stablecoins because
Mhm.
it's it really is a logical, um, intelligent way for the U.S. economy to be even stronger in the global economy and in just our own economy by enabling stablecoins. And so the other thing that credit unions can look to is using crypto for their treasury, so
Mhm.
building up treasuries. There are examples of companies such as Strategy amassing enormous balance sheets,
Mhm.
and countries enormousing amassing wealth by accumulating uh, assets that people believe will, in the long term, be incredibly valuable. For example, Bitcoin only has so many coins that you're offered. There's a finite number, and so many companies and financial institutions are looking to have their own crypto strategies as well.
Mhm. For sure. And I bet it's a fraud reduction too, because only the people who are intended to receive it can receive it, who have the other key or whatever, as I
Exactly.
understand it.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and
but that has to
another
be
cost
very careful.
reduction.
Has to be very carefully safeguarded, and that's why having a trustworthy custodian is absolutely key. And so, for example, SFOX's primary business is offering the ability to buy, sell crypto, as well as offer the technology and a platform for credit unions and financial institutions. Um, we offer a custody that's a trust licensed custody that's also insured. And so, again, we act as a fiduciary in a sense, where we act in the best interest of folks from a custody perspective. So the storage of crypto, the safe storage of crypto is absolutely critical. And a lot of credit unions uh, might be interested in understanding how they can offer that service to their members. Because right now, the everyday consumer is inundated with uh, with choices as to how to store their crypto, and it can be incredibly confusing and quite honestly scary. There are many cases of fraud.
Mhm.
Some people, there's infamous stories that many people have heard about people losing their keys and then losing their crypto, and they're very, very expensive services for people to store this information. And so I think credit unions also have a really great opportunity to offer custody as a service as well.
Wow, yeah, good, great idea. And so, with the credit unions that and or banks that you're working with, what sort of results are you seeing as far as like um the not I mean I read your research and it mentioned that there are opportunities for non-interest income, which is a big deal, as the interest income can be much more fluctuate much more. And then
Mhm.
also like member retention, adding members. What are some of the results you all have seen?
Yeah, well, so first of all, in terms of some of the initial results that we've seen, we've had credit unions tell the SFOX Connect customers that offer our software to these credit unions that they've seen a lifetime value increase of $1,000 per member,
Mm,
which is
wow.
really, really interesting. If you consider a member being with a credit union for maybe a dozen years and they're not very active. Um,
Mm,
they might have a car loan with the credit union and a small account that supplements their other bank accounts or other investment accounts. And so, from an increase in revenue for credit unions, it's an enormous opportunity, and that's early days. That's not
mhm.
fully marketed impact that I'm sharing. So
Right.
imagine if you actually then fully educate and market to your member base. and again, a lot of these folks who are credit union members, they might have multiple accounts. And so if you offer a safe um, uh, service that actually has a human attached to it, versus some of these crypto companies that are working with consumers that, if a consumer has a question, good luck getting customer service. I don't know if you've personally ever experienced that, but to this day, it is really a lot of consumers kind of trying to, do the best they can with not a lot of customer service. So credit unions have that opportunity. Uh, in terms of retention and also winning customers, acquiring new customers, um, I think a lot of folks know who their credit unions are. Maybe they've even been a credit union member in the past and they no longer are credit union members. Maybe after they graduated from college, for example, they didn't
Mhm.
continue their student credit union membership or et cetera. Um, I'd say that a lot of folks just want to work with somebody who they've trusted in the past. And they're saying, look, anecdotally, one credit union shared with us that one of their members, a retiree, came in and said, you know what? I have $100,000 on Coinbase. I have $100,000 with, this other crypto company. I would like to just transfer all of that here because I can see everything at once and talk to a human and work with
Mhm.
somebody I feel I can trust.
Mhm.
And so that was an amazing retention story. But then that person had their children come
Right.
over and and open up credit union accounts so that they could also just have a place where they felt confident that they could buy and store their Bitcoin
Mm.
with that credit union. And so stories like that really they really make me happy and hopeful because I think that demystifying crypto is absolutely critical for the everyday person. This is an opportunity I think that people should comfortably, safely explore. Again, not approach it like this really large speculative opportunity, but more thinking about, what their comfort level is and how they can clearly understand and invest in crypto um, through partners, credit unions, through services that they trust and
Mhm.
that they can understand. I think the idea that you don't understand crypto and so I'm not going to get into it or it's too volatile, it's really a disservice
Mhm.
to the everyday person. Um, I think that demystifying it, having a face behind the service, having understanding that now it is a regulated asset class, and in about 18 months, I think a lot of these regulations are going to come to fruition for a lot of the financial institutions. That's the timeline. I think now it's like
Mhm.
16 months because I think that was a couple months ago. Um,
Right.
I think credit unions should be aware that people have gone out the gate running. They're going to be they are already they're going to be early
Mhm.
for when that regulation is actually going to enable them to flip the switch. And I think that not offering this in what some way, shape, or form to their member base is going to further distance them from what's going to quickly become a very standard way that people want to use money and build their investments.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Totally see that. And so I always offer my guests a final thoughts as we wrap it up. What do you have to tell our credit union audience, Erica?
Well, what I'd love to tell you is that credit unions have a special place in our country, where they've offered the best rates, wonderful service, a safe harbor, if you will, right? And crypto, um, crypto is going to be a really key service that an asset class that you're going to see your members increasingly explore if they're not already doing so. And so by not, take the leap, in that, you know, test out different offerings. Obviously we'd love for you to talk to SFox, but uh, don't feel that it's too complex,
Mhm.
because I do think that there's many ways to demystify it, and there are many partners who can help you comfortably, safely explore getting up to speed with crypto as well as offering it. And then the other thing is that to be frank, in some of the early days, really distrusted crypto.
Mm.
And I'll own up to it. And what I found is that I think that you should encourage, that credit unions should encourage folks to explore it at their comfort level. And that they should also look at the regulations, the Genius Act and the Clarity Act, which is also enormously exciting.
Mhm.
Um, and and evolve, evolve with the times.
Right.
And so don't be afraid to evolve with the times. Um, but have your list of things that your boundaries, what's important to you.
Right.
Is it insurance? Do you want to be with a licensed trust company? Do you want to work with people who have a long track record? Do you like the providers that you're working with? Meaning, do you believe that they're answering your questions and providing the white glove service that you deserve?
Mm.
So ask for what you want. And also, I'd also say also in closing that there's going to be a lot of volatility. There
Mhm.
mistakes will continue to be made. But I think holding the course and looking at the fundamentals.